Penny is an active student. She has a lot of extracurricular activities as well as a part-time job. With so many commitments, she forgot about an assignment due in just a couple of days. Instead of working on it right away or asking her lecturer for an extension, she did something that would ruin her academic reputation. She bought a paper online and submitted it as if it was her own work. She was caught when the Turn-In report identified problems with her paper. Eventually, Penny received an F grade on the subject. This will stay on her university transcript forever.
Plagiarism is using someone else's words or ideas without acknowledging the source and leading your readers to think they are your own words or ideas. Buying a paper is just one example of academic dishonesty. A lack of proper acknowledgement to the sources used in your work is also considered plagiarism. This video will identify different forms of plagiarism and how to avoid them by providing citations. Let's take a look. Verbatim copying is copying a sentence, paragraph, or section directly without quotation marks or acknowledging the author. Mosaic copying means copying the key points from two or more sources and embedding them in a paragraph of your own without acknowledging the originals. Uncited paraphrasing is rewriting another author's original views into your own words without crediting the source. Translation plagiarism is translating materials from one language to another without crediting the source. One other type of plagiarism is self-plagiarism, which means reusing content from your previously submitted work for a different course as if it were a new submission.
But why? It is my own work. I wrote it myself with proper citations.
I am afraid you cannot reuse your previously submitted work. In doing so, you mislead your lecturer into thinking you have made the effort needed to produce new and original work. So far, we have seen that to avoid plagiarism, you need to write an original piece of work and acknowledge the sources you have used in your work. To properly acknowledge your sources, you need to learn how to cite. In the social sciences, American Psychological Association, or APA style, is the most commonly used. This style requires an in-text citation in the body of your work and a reference list at the end, listing out all the sources you have cited. Here are some ways you can cite a work or an idea. Summarizing and paraphrasing are the most common methods. Summarizing refers to the extracting of the main ideas from a source to create a concise statement, while paraphrasing is the conveying of information from an original source using your own words. When summarizing or paraphrasing, provide an in-text citation to attribute the source. Note how the reference list contains more details about the source. This will help your readers to locate the source material if they want to verify the information in your work. Secondary sources. You may come across an idea that is cited in a textbook, but is not the original idea of the author whose book you are reading. In such cases, you will need to make a secondary citation if you cannot find the original source text. Only use secondary sources when you do not have access to the original source, or if the original work is unavailable. Otherwise, locate the secondary source and read it. Ask a librarian if you need help finding it. Direct quotations. Sometimes, you may not want to change the meaning or lose the impact of the exact words from the source. In this case, you can directly quote the original words. Enclose the words from the source in double quotation marks and provide the page number. Indent long quotations that contain 40 words or more. To learn more about plagiarism and citation, check out the Language Center's guide on avoiding plagiarism and the library's Citing Sources Guide. If you need help with citation, feel free to contact a librarian. We should make every effort to avoid plagiarism. Apart from failing a course, serious or repeated instances of plagiarism will be investigated by the university and more stringent action taken. At the same time, we should also remember that reusing ideas and texts is common in academic writing. You should learn to proactively leverage source texts, following the guidelines provided here, so you can write like a professional researcher and join the conversation about academic issues. The risk of plagiarism should not deter you from responsibly using the ideas of others.